Welcome to College Admissions Toolbox, giving you the edge you need to get into the colleges of your dreams. With your host, Steve Schwartz. That's me. Today, we're talking with Jodi Okun. Welcome to College Admissions Toolbox, Jodi. How are you doing today?
I am well. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for coming on the program. Now, Jodi, you have an incredible story. You've helped thousands of families navigate the financial aid process, and you also actually host a weekly Twitter chat where you connect families applying to college with folks with expertise in the field. Tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got to where you are today.
So my journey started actually about 10 years ago, where I took a class on financial aid, and the teacher of my class is actually the director at Occidental College. And when I was done with the class, I emailed her and said, hey, I'm going to be in the area for coffee. I was not going to be in the area. And I was like, hey, I'm going to be in the area for coffee. You want to have coffee? And she said, yes. And so we sat, we had coffee. And that was when my journey started. I said, hey, I want to help families with financial aid. Will you teach me everything you know? And to this day, she is my mentor, and she is the one who got me on my journey.
Oh, wow. So having a mentor was really crucial to kind of set you on your path.
Having a mentor was really crucial. And I've had so many different kinds of mentors on my journey in each street or road or river. But she was my first mentor, shall we say, in my second half of my life. It was amazing. Amazing.
Oh, wow. So she was your mentor. She set you on this path. But was there a pivotal moment that led you to choose to focus on finance in particular?
I was reflecting on my life of everything that I had done. I'd been the president, the manager of all the different sort of opportunities that I had before this venture. I loved numbers. I was always the treasurer or the auditor of something. And I like to run things. So I decided, this would be a perfect opportunity for me to open a small business. I'm a huge advocate of post-secondary education. I think everyone needs to go to college. So let's blend them all together, all those things that I'm passionate about, and open a company where we help families with financial aid.
That's great. So you're kind of marrying your interests together, the higher ed, the finance together into financial aid, college-bound families.
Exactly.
Wow, that's great. Now, Jodi, what we really love to hear on College Admissions Toolbox are stories. Mm-hmm. Could you take us to the moment in time of the worst college admissions moment that you've seen and tell us the story behind it?
Yeah, so a couple years ago, one of the students that I was working with called and said that unfortunately she had applied to 20 schools, and of those 20 schools, no one had received her admission application and no one had received her financial aid applications. And she was, worried. It was time. It was like probably about this time of year where May 1st is looming. So I told her that, her financial aid had been in and we checked through it all. She'd called her admission counselors at each of the schools. They couldn't find her application. And it turned out that what had happened is she transposed her Social Security number on all of her admission applications. And she transposed it on different on each one because she kept correcting her mistake, but never got the right one. And so then when she applied for financial aid, they weren't able to connect her financial aid applications with her admission application.
Oh no, that's really sounds like a worst nightmare kind of scenario.
Yeah, but fortunately the colleges were working with her, and fortunately financial aid worked with her, and she found her correct number, and she absolutely had to go school by school by school, send in her Social Security card or her passport and make sure that everything was connected. And in the end, which schools, they did have her application, but it was assigned to another person in another name.
Oh, wow. Well, really emphasizes the importance of double and triple checking, huh?
Exactly. That, we're all about, someone else, maybe a mentor or someone else checking before you hit that big send button.
Absolutely. Never hurts to have a second or third pair of eyes just to make sure you're not missing anything. Well, I'm really happy to hear that the schools, worked with her in the end to get that all sorted out.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Absolutely.
That's a relief.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Any others? Any other particular situations you've encountered where a student had to kind of figure things out after an initial upset of some kind?
Most of the situations. There was another one where there was this young man whose parents were separated, and he was a junior at college, and his parents filed a tax return, and one of the parents said they were married and the other parent said they were single. And unfortunately, in financial aid, they couldn't really discount the tax returns. And if the student didn't talk to his parents about fixing this, he actually was going to lose out on completing his education. And his parents didn't speak English. And it was sort of a little bit of a challenge for him to keep going back and forth to his parents because they didn't understand what the process looked like and how important it was to everyone be cohesive during the process. And in the same vein, his younger sibling was coming into that same college. So there was a lot of, unfortunately, back and forth during a very stressful time. So I'm always encouraging families to stay ahead of the deadline, stay in front of the curve, and get things done on the early side, because you never really know what could be happening and what might have slipped through or not slipped through. You just want to be really proactive with your education.
Absolutely, Jodi. I couldn't agree more. So many times, something comes up last minute.
Uh-huh.
There's no harm in getting it done early, but
Right.
What I always like to say is, when you're taking a flight from point A to point B, it's rare that your flight will get in significantly earlier
Right.
than the scheduled landing time.
Right.
But it is, much more likely that it will get in, a little bit later than the scheduled arrival time. So
Right.
safest thing to do is to get in a little bit earlier than you need to if you can. Same with, getting together financial aid forms, working on the college essay, all the components of the application. You never know what will come up. You could get sick. Maybe there's a last minute vacation or crisis of some kind. Schoolwork gets in the way, and then you could have confusion between a couple over whether they're actually married or not.
Right.
So all sorts of things. Who knows? But yeah, you got to get everyone on the same page, and the earlier you take care of that, the better off you'll be. So definitely a valuable lesson there.
I'm in the big club of hurry up and wait. So
yeah.
I want a t-shirt that says, okay, I got there early, now I'm just waiting. And that's where you want to be in this college process. You just want to be, you have everything done and you just want to be waiting. Feet up, head down. That's a perfect place.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is, you get it done early and you have a week to relax while all your friends are scrambling.
100%. 100%.
So that wouldn't be so terrible. You're going to be able to relax a little bit before everyone else. Not a bad position to be in.
Yeah, and that should be a major goal in the college application and financial aid process is to be early.
Absolutely, no harm in that. Especially maybe there's some more financial aid available if you get things in early. Who knows?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Now, share with us, if you can, Jodi, a moment of insight or a moment of inspiration that you've seen a student experience in the admission process. Something that led them on the path to success, or a realization they had. Does anything come to mind?
So I have a really special story. I have a man who called me out of the clear blue and said that he wanted to change the life of his son's best friend. And that best friend, let's call best friend Tom, was going to be a first generation going to college. And so he wanted me to call the mom of Tom and tell the mom that, Mom, guess what? You've just won free financial aid help from Jodi. and I am here to help you do anything you need to help Tom get to college.
No kidding. That is wonderful.
And it goes on. You ready?
Sure.
So through the year, I helped Tom with financial aid. Tom got into all 5 of his number 1 schools. And Tom, through the secrecy of the friend's mom, flew to visit all the colleges that they were able to visit and received more than half, probably about 80% of free money to go to this college. And Tom was able to go to this college for 4 years and is graduating this year and made a difference in his life because one person that wasn't in his family noticed that he was special and wanted to help out. It was amazing.
Wow, that is an incredible, heartwarming story, you know. It really, you know, the kindness that this gentleman showed Tom is just, you know, unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. Just, I mean, I cried when I opened the letters. Everyone cried. It was just so moving. And to think that now he's going to embark on his career and had this opportunity that I don't think he still knows about right now. I mean, when it's time, but really just a very gracious mom. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, one thing that's really nice about that is it just shows that making the initial investment to learn about the financial aid process and learn what you can to really do the most you can with your financial aid application and really, you know, refining things,
right,
it can pay off big time later. I mean, saving 80% on your tuition is huge.
Yes. Yeah. Saving 80% is huge.
That's a big win.
And to be able to, you know, for him to have his own journey, that's great. You know, his parents, you know, weren't able to have that journey. So he really gets to pave the way for the rest of the family members. It's so nice. Absolutely.
Really leave a legacy going forward. That's so nice to hear. That's wonderful.
Exactly.
Now I want to shift gears, Jodi, move into the lightning round where I'm going to ask you some, don't worry, I'm just going to ask you some rapid fire questions. You just give me some rapid fire responses. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm bracing myself. I'm ready, Steve. Let's do this.
All right. Here's an easy one. What's your number 1 piece of advice for the college admissions process?
Apply.
Got to get it done. Share with us one habit that contributes to college admissions success.
I think we mentioned this before. I'm all about a second pair of eyes, looking over at, you know, your application, making sure everything is filled in correct. You're sending it to the right place. The numbers are correct. That, you know, the words are correct. Just something that someone else is looking at. You're making a big purchase here. You're going to, you know, the next chapter. So bring in that second pair of eyes.
Absolutely. Never hurts to be too careful. What is one online college admissions resource that you absolutely love?
I am all about Big Future. I love that website. I love Big Future. It has videos, it has links, it has scholarships. It talks about college. It's user-friendly. It's got a lot of white space, keeps my interest all day long.
Absolutely. They've really done a great job with that. What's one book that no college applicant should be without?
Okay, so I really like 1,001 Things Every College Student Needs to Know by Harry Harrison. And it's this pretty straightforward book with just like tips and easy, kind of funny, but great pieces of advice that students can just get their hands on and read through.
Sounds like a good one. We'll have to link to that as well as Big Future in the show notes.
Perfect.
Now, what are you working on these days? I know you've got your consulting, you've got the Twitter chat. What else is going on? Anything you're looking forward to coming up?
Yeah, so I'm launching a podcast. So in the next few months, you'll see that. And I'm also writing my first book. So I'm really excited about that and working hard on that for the next, hopefully several months to the year.
Oh, that's really exciting. A new podcast and a new book coming up. You'll have to keep us in the loop.
I promise I will.
Well, that's great. Any final thoughts or words of wisdom before you go?
Well, I think the more educated students can be during their process, listening to, reading things that are out there, I think the easier the process gets. So look for those mentors and look for those links that can really help through the process everyone is maybe feeling the same as you are, overwhelmed in it. And there's a lot of people out there who can help guide you through the process that have been down the road before.
Couldn't agree more. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Look for those mentors. They can really do a lot to make the process easier and smoother for you in the end. Before you go, Jodi, where can folks find you online?
So the best place to find me is you can tweet me at JODIOKUN. So find me at Jodi Okun. And then I'm probably going to tweet back, and you can link to my website, which is collegefinancialaidadvisors.com.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, Jodi. Take care.
Take care. You too, Steve. Bye-bye.
I wanted to give you guys a few quick tips on starting your college essay, because I've been getting some questions about getting over writer's block and finally choosing a topic. Writing college essays is really, really hard. I spent months thinking about college essays, but felt like I was getting nowhere when it came to actually getting started. I mean, it's not easy to start writing a college essay that's supposed to show admission officers who you really are. One of the most effective ways I found to help students finally start their essays is by telling them not to start at the beginning. Instead, I recommend using a strategy called free writing. It's pretty simple, kind of stream of consciousness. You just write down any random ideas as they come to you. Then you figure out how to connect them and edit them later. So if you think of something, anything at all, that you think might work well for your essay, just write it down. Don't think about whether it's good or bad, or whether it'll work or not. Just get it all down on paper or on the computer. I've seen so many students write the best sentences of their essays only after they do a lot of free writing. And when you write, you can use any style that works for you. Bullet points, an outline, or even just a word or two. Another strategy that really works is to use writing prompts. They're really a great tool to help you get started and make it a lot easier. I don't know if you've ever done Mad Libs, maybe as a kid, but it's kind of similar to those. For those of you who've never used writing prompts before, I'll just give you a couple of quick examples. They could be sentences as simple as, I enjoy learning about X because Y. Here's another one. A global issue that excites me is X because Y. I know these might sound kind of lame, but really, don't knock it till you've tried it. Doing a bunch of these can really help get your creative juices flowing. So I've put together a ton of writing prompts and also some lists of questions to get those juices flowing so you can finally get started with your college essay. These tools can really help you if you're having trouble getting motivated or if you're unsure about what to write about. These are just some of the resources I've put together in a premium course to help you write effective college essays. You can get access to all of these resources and sign up for the college essay course at collegeadmissionstoolbox.com/essays.
Thanks for listening to College Admissions Toolbox. Head over to www.collegeadmissionstoolbox.com to get more free tools and resources that will help you get into the colleges of your dreams.